Okay, we are back after a really long time of me not recording anything. I actually still have Gray's route to release on my YouTube and Aiden's. I just put out the last sort of James, so you can tell when I've started this. And it's time for Eeyok. Eeyok has been released, but it's been released on Steam. But I live in the UK, if that's not obvious. So I can't buy the 18 plus stuff anymore because I don't have a credit card, and it requires you to have a credit card to like say you're over 18 and that you can buy this stuff. I am over 18, obviously, but I just don't want a credit card. I've never wanted a credit card. So yeah, I can't buy it from there. So I had to buy the Patreon, and I've got it here. So we can go through Eeyok's, which is really exciting because this is the one I was very, very, very excited for after James's route, obviously. And I'm sorry if any of the audio is weird. If you want to tell me if you hate it or whatever, you can. That's fine. Because I reformatted my computer because it was just really slow, and I was like, where's... I feel like I had a bunch of hidden files and stuff that I needed to get rid of, and I just wanted a clean slate. And hey, I have a lot more space now, so... But that means I didn't save my OBS stuff. So I had to redo it, and it's probably really bad, and I don't know. But anyway, Eeyok, 27. He's 5'8". Knight. It is the 1700s and you're engaged to the Duke, but suddenly you're executed? You wake up to find out you've been sent back into time. You're a modiste? Is that how you say that? I don't know. Again, tailoring clothes for nobles, but not for long though, as someone will discover your special lineage, causing the Duke to propose to you again, pulling you into the world of high society. But this time, you'll change things around. You'll gather allies to your side and win the trust of the Duke's personal retainer, Eeyok. Okay, now give me a moment. Okay. Was just checking everything was moderately fine. I'm still thinking I'm gonna have to change some things, but we'll just work as we go because I left doing all of this to the day where I was like, I'm gonna record. Whatever. I'm hoping that I don't have to do any of the minigames still, because I know that when you got the plus stuff on Steam, you didn't have to do all the minigames and you could just continue on. So I'm hoping that's the case because it really does tack on a lot more time. Because I did that for Neil, Kane, and Dimitri before. We'll see. That's fucking loud still. I forgot how loud that is. Tailor Tales is a lighthearted game, but each route brings its own unique sets of warnings and triggers. Would you like to review these? We always review them. We always review them. It's set, I love that a trigger is just set in the 18th century. That is a trigger all on its own because, you know, things be like that back then. Graphic and various deaths, including ours apparently. Strong abusive language and slurs. I feel like we went through this before. But we're doing it again because we're actually on Eeyok's route now. MC getting physically and verbally abused, probably by guards. Guards. Depression. Classism among nobles and commoners. Yes, very triggers. His sexual behaviors. We've definitely been over this because when I saw that, I was like, But he's very agreeable to this, which is good. Accidentally. Kinky vanilla, which I like. I like that because Aiden was not vanilla. His route was basically all sexual stuff, and I think actually because it took me forever to work out how to do to get the Patreon thing, because it's not just as simple as download the itch.io launcher and then get the game. No, you have to like get the Patreon version of the game and then still run it through the launcher, and only then it works. Because I was like, why aren't any of my passwords working? But it's because I was on the Patreon launcher. So I have no previous gameplay, no nothing. Which is fine. It's just what I have to do now that the UK is done this dumb thing, which I think that it's good that they want to protect, you know, minors from going on like bad sites. I do think that's a good thing, but I just don't think this heavy... I don't know, it's just stupid. And the way Steam's gone about it is stupid, because like, I'm sorry, I don't have a credit card, and I'm not interested in getting one. So I can't remember what I was saying. This is gonna be great. Confidence, very consistent. Oh, he's confident, right? Okay. Flustered every now and then. See, I don't like this. I mean, I like that he's confident, but like, I also like somebody who can get flustered. So I'm really curious to how Eeyok is gonna be, because we don't know how close he is personality-wise to the Eeyok in James's Route, right? Cockiness, not much good. Libido, higher than he lets on. Interesting. I'm going to pause and see if it is... if I should reveal these spoiler triggers. Okay, if you don't want to know the big spoiler triggers, move forward like 10 seconds or something. Because we'll be doing this controls thing as well, which I'm probably going to say no to, actually. I know how to play the game. So... okay, spoilers. So it's death of MC, obviously, death of Eeyok, death of a baby, and MC getting kidnapped, I think? So those are the spoilers. Spoiler triggers, so. Man. It's so fucking loud. I forgot. Oh my god. I forgot how loud they are. You know what? I should have done the, here we go. I remember. Get out of here with this. Alright. I tug on the... Can I get rid of it? Okay. I tug on the rope to ring the bell, then I fold my hands onto my lap. A moment later, and Mandy, my handmaid, enters the room. She wipes down the apron in front of her and looks down at the floor. Your Grace, you called? She asks politely. Ready the carriage. We're leaving for Anderson's. I want to personally pick up my wedding dress, I tell her. Her eyes widen ever so slightly. My request baffles her. After all, why would I go out of my way to visit a shabby tailor shop when I could have them visit the Holwell Manor instead? Your Grace, there's no need for you to visit them. They will come by personally to deliver your wedding dress and do the final fitting. No, I stop her, my eyes narrowing. I will go. Nothing can change my mind. Why? I want to visit that place again, because after this, I'm leaving my old life behind for good. One last look before I'm stuck here and suffocate. Very well, I will ready the carriage, says Mandy as she demurely bows her head in front of me. She walks out of the room, her shoes clicking against the wooden floor. As soon as I'm alone again, I sigh in silence and rest my chin on my hand, looking out the window. It starts to rain. I should be annoyed at the change of weather, to have to venture out into the cold rain, but I'm not. The knot in my stomach is already wound up and pulled tight. The weather is only some minor inconvenience compared to everything else. Will this be my last time ever stepping foot inside of this place? Most likely, yes. Now that I will accumulate a fortune of wealth, it would be unbecoming of me to visit a place of such lowly stature. Kim pulls the peach-colored garment straight near my ankles. She's making sure it's hemmed correctly. It has to be perfect for your wedding, she says, though her smile doesn't quite reach her eyes. Other workers continue their tasks in the background, sitting cross-legged near the windows. Because of the rain outside, there's not much natural light entering the shop. I feel conflicted as a sense of nostalgia wells up inside of me. I used to sit near that window with the rest of them. Do you miss it? Kim asks me, noticing my gaze wandering off. I manage to let out a chuckle. Miss it? Back pain and eating cabbage every day, I huff. It was tough work, endlessly pulling my needle through fabric. The conditions of this place haven't improved since I last worked here as well. She pulls on her needle as I finish speaking. But you enjoyed it, Kim says with a shrug. The corner of my lips pull into a wry smile. I did, I admit. You're always welcome for some more fittings and for any dresses you might need, Valkii. I actually don't remember if I used 3 eyes on my name before, but I also changed, because the game, when you load up the game, it's like, hey, what's your name? Hey, what's your second name? And I gave my character a more appropriate second name. I think it was Alderson. Again, I booted all of this up, and then I started doing the OBS stuff, and it was just a lot. Kim catches herself looking a bit flustered. I mean, Your Grace, she corrects herself. Technically, I'm not married yet. I give her a wry smile. The title is still rightfully yours. Should I, like, give her a Cockney accent? No, that's too much. I look into the mirror and a set of empty eyes stare back at me. It's like I'm seeing someone else in the reflection, as if a stranger is going to marry the Duke of Earring, not me. Kim, I start, my voice solemn. Kim perks up, looking at me with curious eyes. Keep practicing those buttons, I tell her. They were always your worst enemy. Kim smirks at me. I've been practicing twice as hard since you left. Haven't you heard? I've got an apprenticeship now. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. Really? I say, slightly shocked. Never thought that old crook would take on a woman as an apprentice, I mumble. She shakes her head. Mr. Anderson passed away some time ago, haven't you heard? So, I called myself Alderson, and there's someone called Anderson. No, that is news to me. Mr. Anderson was the owner of the boutique. He would only accept men as an apprentice for the guild. Women simply didn't have an option to be an apprentice. Afraid not. That news hasn't traveled to me. When was this? Kim pauses to think it over. Well, that's a good question. Perhaps a month or two after your engagement with the Duke. I keep trying to go into Cockney and I don't know why. Never having been fond of Mr. Anderson, I would have gladly attended his funeral, if he even had one. How did he die? I ask. Oh, it was the Drax curse. His wife took over the shop since then, though she has basically left us to run it ourselves. I take a moment to myself. Mr. Anderson was not a good person, but dying from the Drax curse... What's the Drax curse? I really wish that curse went away, I tell her solemnly. Kim casts her eyes downwards with a small sigh. If only, she says wistfully. But we had each other, right? She says instead, sounding slightly hopeful. I feel my heart clench and I put up a smile for her. Of course. But not anymore. Not since my engagement to the Duke. The Duke? So there is no master is what you're saying. I muse out loud, going back to the topic of the shop not having a proper master. Maybe this is my lucky chance, says Kim with a cheeky grin. If even you can break it into the world of nobility, then maybe I stand a chance too. Another fake smile. She thinks I made it. From humble beginnings and no name to marrying a duke. To being the gatekeeper. I want some, like, explanations. What is Drax curse? What is a gatekeeper? Yes, Kim, you stand a chance too. I appease her aspirations. Although I don't mind when it's like Drax curse and you're like, whoa, what's Drax curse? And they're like, I'm a gatekeeper. And it's like, whoa, what's a gatekeeper? But it's not, it doesn't feel natural to bring up an explanation to that right away, because it's like, well, these people know what it is. There is always, probably, not always, a way to weave it in naturally, like an anecdote about Drax curse, or an anecdote about a gatekeeper, but that's not always the case, and sometimes it's best to not do that. But also, you don't want to, like, forget. I don't know. I'm excited to learn what these things are. I'm excited to see Eeyok again as well, I'm gonna say it. Did I say this? Yes, Kim, you stand a chance too. I appease her aspirations. It's not like I can tell the truth. I never had much of a choice in the matter. In fact, I would love to go back to being a seamstress and eating cabbage every day, having my back ache from sitting cross-legged the entire day. Honestly, I can't think of a worse vegetable to eat every day than cabbage. That shit stinks. I long for that backache at this point. All right, the fitting is perfect, says Kim, dusting off her hands. You look stunning, Your Grace. Funny, I feel like an absolute wreck on the inside. As Kim starts removing the pieces from my body, I wonder if anyone would truly miss me if I'd run away this instant. Eeyok? Oh. That would have been stupid. But it would have been an interesting time for Eeyok to come in, because it would have made that connection really early on. Like, not a very visible connection, but like, just a very small one, where it's like, wow, no, I doubt anyone would miss me if I run away. Eeyok comes in and he's not saying like, I would miss you because you're saying this in your head. He would just be there, you know? I don't know. The scribbling of a quill against paper fills the otherwise quiet room. I never feel like I belong here. Also, none of what I'm saying so far has been like any kind of criticism, by the way. I'm just excited. You called for me? The scribbling stops. That was the Duke. Ew! Oh, I did see his picture. I'm remembering that now. Ugh. Veritas. Veritas's eyes never meet mine. The wedding. He starts slowly. Afterwards, we will be traveling to Clockfield Hall. Clockfield Hall, I repeat. That's Veritas' summer residence. We will leave at sunrise. We must arrive there early. I expect no tardiness on your part. I gather up a bunch of fabric from my skirt and clench my hands tightly. Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I love being fierce. I will never be kind. I mean, I'm kind, but you know what I mean. I believe it is you who was tardy the last time we traveled, I retort. That gets him to bring his eyes up to mine. A flint of anger flashes in those lightly coloured orbs. Yet his face remains emotionless, like a mask, unmoving and never showing what he's thinking. You will do well not to speak out of turn. Do your part and I shall do mine. Now leave. As you wish, Your Grace, I say, nodding my head at him. He flicks his hand in my general direction before he's back to scribbling. Is he writing? That's what I always wonder, I guess, when these shows, you know, you watch these shows and the men are always just like scribbling at a desk. I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you writing? Constant letters? I'm sure there's a lot else that they were doing, but I'm actually quite curious about what he's writing about. Petitions? I don't know. He doesn't have to tell me twice as I turn on my heel and walk towards the door. Oh, and Valkii, he calls out for me. I tilt my head and stare over my shoulder. Don't make a scene at the wedding. I wouldn't dare, I say in disdain and finally flee his study. I mean, Veritas is like good looking, but like I hate him, you know what I mean? Tomorrow I am marrying this man. My stomach twists itself into uncomfortable knots. Okay, why are you marrying him? I understand there's like some secret lineage going on here that was uncovered, but why? I just want to know. Uh-oh. And you sneeze. Nothing's changed. I always need to sneeze when I'm recording, but it's going away. Nothing. I feel nothing as those lips touch mine for a split second. The opposite of love isn't hatred, it's indifference. I may as well have kissed a frog. I don't think I would be indifferent to kissing a frog. I think I would hate that. Blech. The hall erupts into cheers and claps, echoing to my core. It feels hollow, like everything else in my life. I now pronounce you husband and wife, says the priest. Veritas moves away from me and faces the crowd. His expression is as cold as always. I also face the crowd, looking over all the people who secretly hold me in contempt. There is not a single person in this room who is genuinely happy for me. Why would there be? I'm not happy either. Let us do our rounds, Veritas tells me in a low enough voice so that only I can hear it. He offers his arm, showing some semblance of etiquette, more than he has ever shown me before. I place my hands on them. Together we walk through the room, greeting all the nobles that have come to pay their respects. How do I get rid of the screen again? That's not it. That is also not it. Let me... I pressed all the buttons at the top, but I think there's like a quick load or something up there. I guess I should have reviewed the controls, am I right? And it like reset the whole thing, but we're back and I figured out how, but I can't take easy screenshots because I'm not using Steam anymore. But itch.io probably has the screenshot function, maybe, I don't know, but we're making do. And by the time we reach Viscount Kotov and his wife, my feet are already throbbing. Viscount and Viscountess, I greet the couple politely. Chelsea Kotov, a woman with long and black hair. Shouldn't it just be a woman with long black hair? Whatever. Pretends I'm heir. She's never liked me even once I debuted into society, even more so when she lost her child. Gatekeeper, Alexander addresses me. What does that mean? Congratulations on your wedding, he says. I assume we're gonna figure out what a gatekeeper is and what Drake's curse is when we get reincarnated, because that's a good way to explain, like when she finds out she's the gatekeeper or something, they explain what that is, maybe? I don't know, that's just what I'm predicting. It could come up way sooner. Congratulations on your wedding, he says. Hello, Alex, you dickhead. Where's your brother? Thank you, Veritas replies coldly. I hope everything is prepared for tomorrow. Yes, we'll be taking 2 carriages to head off to Clockfield Hall, he confirms. Seems the Viscount is coming with us. How utterly exciting. While the two discuss some business, I'm left alone with Chelsea, who is trying her best not to acknowledge me. But I know that even she has to abide by etiquette. People are watching. She can't lose face here. She's already barely hanging on in society. I wish you and your husband well, she finally manages to summon. Her intent is clearly anything but that. She probably wishes I fell into a pit of snakes at this point. That's what her eyes are telling me. I wish you and your husband luck as well, I say in return. Chelsea snaps her head up at me and glares ferociously. That may have come across a bit inconsiderate. They've probably been trying to have another child again with no such luck. However, I do not apologize. As much as Chelsea dislikes me, I'm in the same position. I'd gladly push her into a pit of snakes as well. Damn. Okay. Come. Veritas commands me after finishing his talk with Alexander. This time I'm almost grateful for his authoritarianism. I use the opportunity to escape from my pleasantries with Chelsea. We continue to make our rounds. My feet have blisters on them at this point. These uncomfortable wedding shoes were not meant for walking. Hey girl! I love Sarah. Your Grace, another person greets us. It takes me a second to realize who it is, and even Veritas seems to struggle with remembering her name. Sarah Jones, I whisper to him. The Marchioness of Springburg. I love, like, in theory, this period of time. In theory. I like certain parts of a story in this time. I don't love, you know, obviously how women were treated. But there is something like Pride and Prejudice, you know, that kind of vibe of the whole taboo of the forbidden love of blah, 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 blah. That intrigues me. Always has. I can't remember why I started on this tangent. That's good. My short-term memory is amazing, by the way. I'll remember what I wanted to say probably tomorrow. My lady, Veritas acknowledges her. Congratulations. Oh, I was trying to say that I don't know how to say some words because I've never heard of some of them. Congratulations on the wedding, she says with a perfect rehearsed smile. Thank you, I reply with my standard response for the upteenth time that day. I don't know much about Sarah, having last seen her at the masquerade party. It was easy to recognize her among the crowd because she was the only one in full black as she was grieving the death of her husband, the Marquess of Springbird. Okay. The Marquis? How do you say that? You know what? We're doing it. It didn't do me right on James's route, but can you
Marquis.
Let's slow it down a bit.
Marquis.
Yeah, whatever. The Marquess. Wait.
This word, as well as how to say more interesting but often confusing words in English, so make sure to stay tuned to the channel. This is said as Marquis. Stress on the first syllable. Marquis, or in a...
There you go, Marquess. That voice surprised me. Okay. I mean, there you go. Considering the clothes she's wearing now, I guess her grieving period is over. She probably didn't fucking like that man anyway. How are you doing? I ask politely. I think we're getting, like... I last saw her at the masquerade, but we weren't there for that. But we will be there for that because we're going to be being, like, resurrected at a point in time previously, just with all of our memories. Again, another good trope when done well. Glad to be wearing some colour, she says jokingly. Veritas stays as stone-faced as always, but I manage to crack a smile. It suits you, I compliment her. Yes, thank you for your time, my lady, says Veritas, ready to move on to the next guest. Sarah does a small curtsy and we're off to greet the rest. She's gonna be our oop, for sure. It is already evening when I can finally sit down to rest. No one is paying attention to me anymore. I heave out a long breath. I want to get out of this attire as soon as possible. It is not meant to be a slight against the work from the Andersons' tailor shop. The dress is quite lovely. However, the layers of fabric are considerably heavy when you've been lugging them around for the entire day. I sit up straight against the chair, overseeing the ballroom. I wish I could stretch my legs even just a little, or maybe take a break to go relieve myself. My bladder can only tolerate so much. But I'm the bride, the point of discussion. I can't leave the room. I'm here for decoration. Was this Eeyok? Your Grace. A low whisper enters my ear. The hairs on the back of my neck stand up straight. That frightened me. I feel like it's Eeyok. I need a moment of your time. Yippee! I tilt my head to look at the young man standing behind me. His clothing conceals most of his identity, but it's clear he's not one of the nobles, nor part of the staff. He's trying his best to stay in the shadows, unseen by the rest of the people in the ballroom. Who are you? I ask, narrowing my eyes at him. Your Grace, it is quite urgent, he stresses. He looks quite familiar. I've seen him before, but where? In James's room. Think. That reddish hair and that birthmark covering his eyes. I know who this is. Guards, take him away. Veritas' voice hollers through the room. The man in question stands up straight as all eyes are on him. He then turns around, cape fluttering behind him as he disappears through the servant's entrance. A bunch of guards come running across the dance floor as they chase after him. I'm hoisted off my chair as Veritas pulls me by my wrist. That thief! Did he steal anything from you? He demands to know. Eeyok wouldn't steal anything, and if he did, he had a good reason to, so fuck you. Ow, he's hurting me. Oh. I yank my wrist away from his hand, freeing myself. I rub the sore spot of skin and glare at him. What is the meaning of this? I demand to know. Check your jewelry. Are you missing anything? I swipe my hand across my neck and check my ears and then reach for my tiara. Nothing. Everything is still there. Nothing. What's going on? I ask. Ugh. That vermin was fired and banished from ever entering my property again, Veritas explains. That used to be your personal retainer, no? I question. I definitely remember it now. It's hard to forget such a unique look. He was Veritas' retainer, personal bodyguard. He used to work for me until he was caught stealing the family seal, he says. Ah, that's why I didn't recognize him straight away. It's been a while since I last saw him. Why is he here? I ask, worried. What did he want from me? No need to concern yourself with this. Our guard will find him and get this sorted. Stay there, he tells me. Yeah, okay. Get out of here. Then he swiftly exits the ballroom, leaving me with so many more questions, not to mention all eyes are on me, waiting for me to address them about the incident. There's nothing to worry about, everyone. The Duke is taking care of it. Please continue to dance, I announce loudly before sitting down again. Everyone doesn't seem to care much anymore, and they go back to chatting and dancing. I place my thumb against my bottom lip, deep in thought. So much for not making a scene. His name, I was just about to say it. What was it again? It was such a foreign name, too. Right, I even said so on our first meeting. That's not polite. And he had replied he was from the country of Grindalia. Or, see, we can click this one. The neighboring country of Cestial? Part of the Empire? Whatever. Where his name is not unusual at all. Eeyok. Eeyok Dugenis? Dugenis? I don't know. There's so many different ways you can pronounce these things. What did he want from me, though? Am I being set up for some kind of scam now that he knows I'm married? Maybe. He never liked me anyway. He always gave me this disdainful stare. It was different from the other noblemen and women. Their contempt for me was because I rose through the ranks, even though I was a nobody. But his eyes, it was something else. I could never pinpoint why he seemed so dismissive of me, but before I could really figure it out, he was gone. I hope they catch him. I want to feel safe going to sleep at night. That's Eeyok. That's Lommel. But she doesn't know that. She doesn't know that yet. The light has barely breached the heavens. The way the wheels uncomfortably hit the cobblestones makes the carriage shake continuously. I didn't even get a good night's sleep because I was afraid someone would enter my room. I had guards posted outside, but I still kept waking up in a cold sweat. Have you caught him yet? I decide to break the silence with my now husband. Who? He asks, looking up. That thief from last night. Ah, he recalls. It seemed he used the servants' hallways to escape. That makes sense. He used to work here, I agree. I have my men looking. I lean my elbow against the window. At least we'll be going far away from the mansion. I'm not looking forward to having to socialize with Chelsea again. How long are we staying at Clockfield Hall? I ask after a while. Veritas looks bored of my question. For as long as I need, he answers dismissively. Why do I have to come? That's what I want to know. I mean, I know she's glad because she thinks she's going to be, like, stolen from or killed or something, but, I mean... I go back to staring out the window again, used to his dismissive attitude. This has been the longest time we've spent together since we've met, and is absolutely suffocating. Well, yeah, travel took a long-ass time back then. Eventually, I managed to doze off, not having a good night's sleep. I awake with a jolt. The horses neigh loudly, and I hear some people talking outside. Why did we stop? I ask, noticing the carriage has stopped moving. Stay here, says Veritas as he exits the carriage. I see him walk across the dirt road where I can see our guard approaching him. But then my vision is blocked as a person stands in front of the door. I freeze up when I see a masked man enter my carriage. That's not one of our guards. It's Eeyok. Bandits! I scream, but my voice is immediately muffled when a hand covers my mouth. His hands are all over me as I struggle and try to fend them off, but he's too strong. Or maybe it's not Eeyok, I don't think he'd do that. Before I know it, I'm dragged out of the carriage, hands bound, mouth gagged, and hoisted onto a horse. Okay, maybe he would. I thought he was actually like... His hands are all over me, as in like he's searching for jewelry. Bye. Bye, Veritas. See you later. My heart is hammering in my chest. I'm blindfolded and bound, sitting on something grainy. Must be dirt. Maybe 10 men? I can hear their armor rustling and their swords clanking. It's like a whole army. I can smell dirt, hay, horse manure, and the awful stench of sweat. There's a taste of iron in the air as well. I must be in some kind of temporary bandit camp. Who kidnapped me? What's going to happen to me? Where is Veritas? Try to remain calm, Valkii. If they wanted you dead, you'd already be dead. That means I'm being used for some kind of ransom. After all, I am the gatekeeper as well as Veritas' wife. Yeah, we all know what the gatekeeper is here. None of us don't know what the gatekeeper is, so it's fine. The Duchess of Earring. I'm an important piece in the world of nobility. There's someone else in the room with me, their footsteps coming towards me. A heavy individual stands in front of me and I gulp, waiting in anticipation. The gag is suddenly removed from my mouth and the ropes on my wrists and ankles are loosened. The footsteps disappear until I hear them exit the tent. Immediately, I slip my hands out of my restraints and take off my blindfold. It's dark inside of the tent with only a single lantern lighting up the place. This doesn't look like a tent, this looks like a house. I quickly take off the ropes around my ankles, but that's when I see how my shoes are stained in blood. So that's why I tasted iron in the air. It was blood. A lot of it. There's a man lying not too far off, face down on the red-soaked dirt. I bring my hands near my mouth to stifle my own scream. Then I hear it, outside of the tent, the march of an army. Metal boots dig into the gravel as several of them enter the tent with me. They're soldiers of the Emperor. Who's the Emperor? Duchess of Earring, says one of the soldiers as he stands in front of me, sword drawn. You are accused of conspiring with the Empire and are under arrest. Excuse me? My eyes widen in shock. What? What do you mean conspiring? I shout at him. And now I'm in a prison. The prison cell is cold and my body warmth is barely hanging on as I'm curled up in a corner of the cell. I've been thrown in here against my will. No one will speak to me. No one will tell me what's going on. I keep trying to explain to the guards that I've been kidnapped and I would never work with the Empire, let alone plot against my own husband, even if I hate his ass. Then a couple of people appear in front of the bars. It's Veritas along with another noble. I spring up to my feet. Your Grace, please tell them there's been a mistake. I plead as I grab the wooden bars with my hands. Veritas stays quiet as the other nobleman opens up a book and adjusts his glasses. You are hereby convicted. Convicted? I interrupt him. Of treachery against the House of Howell and conspiracy with the Empire to orchestrate my murder. Excuse me? You just want me gone, let's be honest. Murder you? I choke out. I stare at him with a blank expression. He's not here to defend me. He's here to incriminate me. What are you saying? What are you playing at? I ask of him. You lured me into a false sense of trust, ambushing me on our way to Clockfield Hall. I should have known your loyalty belonged to the Empire, not to me. I should never have married such a traitor, he says with a huff. You're not even the true gatekeeper. He sneers before he turns on his heel and walks away. Okay, I know what that is, by the way. I can't catch my breath. It feels like I'm suffocating. Traitors who try to assassinate a man of nobility will face capital punishment, death by beheading. The guard tells me now that we're alone. Beheaded? I squeak. I haven't even gotten a fair trial. I argue. Traitors do not get trials. Yeah, that's how it works. Probably back in the day. Everyone who was there confirmed what happened. You conspired to wed the Duke of Earring by lying about being the gatekeeper and have him killed by bandits. I did no such thing, I cry. I demand a trial. The man turns around, ignoring my pleas. Your execution is in 2 days. Peace out. My heart sinks to the bottom of my stomach and my skin goes clammy and pale. Wait! I yell after him, shaking on the bars, but he's gone. I drop myself onto the floor. My legs couldn't keep me upright anymore. I curl up in the ball. Am I gonna be executed? This can't be it, right? I'm being framed, set up. Someone ambushed us and made it look like I was the master behind it all. They made it look like I wanted to kill Veritas. As much as I despise that man, I've never conspired his death. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Please, someone, get me out of here. I still want to live. How were we still on the first chapter? My resolve to live has dwindled into nothingness. They have not given me any food nor water since I've been locked up here. I'm burning up with a fever. I snort to myself. Wouldn't it be funny if I caught the Drax curse and died from that before my execution? I don't know how I can joke in this situation. I'm about to die. Today is my execution. No one has come to help me. Veritas hasn't been here at all. He thinks I tried to murder him. He says I'm not the true gatekeeper. I have absolutely no one on my side. Tears stream over my flamed cheeks. Then I hear something metal drop onto the tiled floor. I immediately look up at the bars and see a shadowy figure appear. This is it. They're coming for me. It's Eeyok. Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about before when she was saying nobody would care if I ran away, and now she just said, no one's coming for me. No one gives a shit about me. Eeyok appears. Foreshadowing. He gives a shit. Your Grace, says the voice as I step into the light. Don't worry, I'm gonna get you out of here, says Eeyok as he holds onto the bars, scanning the room with his eyes. Am I hallucinating because of the fever? Am I imagining a hero to come save me? I'm gonna find a key before they notice I'm here, he says. I finally pick my sluggish body up from the floor and throw myself at the bars. Are you helping me? I ask in a roguish voice. He gives me a sympathetic look. I didn't do it. I'm innocent, I quickly tell him. I know. They've set you up, he says, and I realize he knows a lot more. Yes, I agree. It was a setup. Look, once I get you out of here, then... A noise alerts us both and we're instantly quiet. Eeyok immediately disappears into the shadows and hides himself as we hear the guards making their rounds. We can't learn too much too soon. This is just chapter 1. Eeyok's footsteps are silent as he disappears from the holding area. Then I hear a commotion, someone being thrown against the floor and a scurrying of footsteps. Voices shouting. He's been discovered. I clench my fists onto the bars, desperate to know what's going on. Then it's silent, which is when they finally come for me. Uh-oh. My hands bound, my feet cold and blistered, being dragged across the wooden planks they propped up for the guillotine. A man in a dark hood pulls onto the rope I'm bound to, leading me onto the platform. The cold air hits my warm cheeks. I'm barely able to register the crowd that has gathered to witness my death. It's 10 times bigger than my wedding reception. No, much bigger than that. I guess they all came here to watch the death of the gatekeeper. My sliver of hope of getting out of here gets washed away. Eeyok is nowhere in sight. He couldn't get me out. I'm gonna die. Please, I didn't do anything, I beg as my tears continue to fall. The crowd is noisy and hollers, jeering at me. I see Veritas on the platform. Our eyes meet, but I find nothing but coldness in his stare. He believes it, that I wanted to murder him. He wants me dead in return. The hooded man pushes me onto the wooden plank. Please, I cry out as they hoist me onto the board and strap me in. I'm forced onto the pillory, my hands through the small holes and my neck strapped in the biggest hole. A huge metal blade is angled high above my head. My heart is going out of control. I feel like I could burst. One of the guards reads me my fabricated convictions, but I can't hear him clearly anymore. My mind is spinning. I can't make sense of anything at all. All I hear is some words about conspiracy against the Empire and being the gatekeeper. Then the hooded man starts pulling on the chain to hoist the blade. This is it. This is the end. Then I hear a shout in the crowd, one louder than the rest. Eeyok! Lady Valkii! Out in the crowd, I see Eeyok hoist himself up on the platform, his sword drawn. It's Eeyok! He's come to save me! Yeah, right. I'm sorry, but we're gonna die and get reincarnated as ourselves. Two other guards rush him and they draw their own blades. Eeyok fights them off to the best of his ability, more than I could have hoped for. But then a third one joins the fight and catches Eeyok in his blind spot. A sword is pierced right through his stomach. Sorry, my voice is like a little raw. It'll just suddenly like... bleh. And he collapses onto the platform, blood seeping out of his wound. He groans as he drops his sword, holding onto his stomach. No! I yell. I'm sorry, Your Grace. He sputters with a heavy breath. His hands are covered in blood. No, no, no. I failed you again. Again? Is he in a... Celiana, if you have made this a time loop, I'm gonna freak out. If he is in a... No, she's not gonna do that. And she's not gonna do that, but that is time loops. There's like just one more loop and I can save him. That's my shit. I love that so much. I assume he means like he failed to help her at her wedding when he had to run away, and then he failed to help her getting out of the prison, and then he failed to help her now. I assume that's what it means, but oh my god, if it is a time loop, I'm gonna freak out. Kill her! Veritas yells from across the platform. The blade is dropped. As I watch the life drain out of Eeyok, the metal blade breaches the skin on my neck. Okay, chapter freaking 1. Oh, just ignore what she looks like. I have nothing. I have nothing. Okay. I will see you in the next one. Bye.